So the next operation of the create menu is the slice option. Now we covered some of the slicing as part of options of the previous body operation tools, for example extrude and selecting the slice option. But this is a tool for slicing in its own right, and it has its own options as far as slicing. Now slicing is essentially cutting up your geometry, the operation of cutting up your geometry into smaller parts, and this could be beneficial in a number of ways. It could be beneficial as far as controlling the meshing, and it also could be beneficial in terms of assigning different conditions and different physics to different parts of the model. Rather than having one large model, we can break it down into a smaller number of bodies. Okay, so the different options for slicing include by plane, where we can select a specific plane and allow that plane to be used as the cutting tool to cut the body up. We can slice off faces, where the selected faces are then sliced off and separate bodies are created using the faces. The same can be used with slicing, but for edges, so we slice off the edges and then create the separate bodies. And we can also slice by surface. We can select a particular surface and use that as the cutting tool to cut into the body and divide it up. And we can also select an edge loop to be used as a slicing tool as well. And we can see the example here at the bottom where we've got this selected face for slice off of faces. We select the body which is going to cut into, and then we can see here the body which has been cut off and the remaining original body without that particular chamfer which has been cut off by slice off faces. It's useful to note that that in the latest version in 14.5 you can now perform some slice operations after a share topology command has been issued. Sharing of topology allows two bodies which are coincident with each other, but that don't share any lower topology, to then share the lower topology. For example, if we have two cubes which are sat next to each other, the two cubes may not see each other, so we have two faces which are coincident with each other. If we issue a share topology command and that is successful, we then only have one intermediate face. So each of the two bodies is then sharing that intermediate face, and that is so we were then sharing topology. And the fact that we can perform some slicing after we issue the share topology helps ensure we have the proper connectivity when we're performing that decomposition or dividing up of the geometry. And also the topologies remain shared after the slice, so there's some intelligence there in keeping control over lower topology sharing for the body. It's also useful to mention that sharing of topology could be faster and more robust if the decomposition or domain breakup is done after that particular command. And we can see the option under the slice options here that we have for the slice type by plane, surface, edges, and by edge loop that we would select.